We are now less than 24 hours away from the Hamburg Marathon, which Ben will be running tomorrow. It's a bit of a last-minute decision. He entered very shortly after finishing the Rotterdam Marathon, which was 2 weeks ago. And if you watch the Rotterdam Marathon vlog, then you'll know that the day didn't quite go to plan for Ben for reasons that were not really down to his running. It was more a fueling issue. He had access to his own drinks table. We thought that was going to be great. Turns out it wasn't. And when Ben did his post-race recap, like maybe 3 hours after finishing, he even said,
and I'm going to try and see if I can get a start to Manchester in 2 weeks, because I'm not doing another 12-week block.
Yeah. So he spoke to his coach, and the coach said, if you want to do another one, it's best to do it as soon as possible to capitalize on the same training block, recover, and go again, rather than do a marathon in a month. Then you have to like recover, start training a little bit, and then start tapering again. So Ben tried to enter Manchester Marathon. He couldn't get an entry. The next best option was Hamburg this weekend. We were still in the time window where runners could transfer their entry. So we were still in Rotterdam, and Ben was basically buying an entry from another runner. And now here we are in Hamburg with Ben getting ready to race again tomorrow. Right, ready for your second marathon in 2 weeks.
Wait.
How's it been since Rotterdam?
Yeah, not too bad, really. I think, well, the day I finished, I knew I didn't really have like proper fatigue in my legs. Like I could lift. I was moving around pretty normally. Next day I could go for a run without any issues. Usually the next day I'm kind of
you can't walk.
Limping or walking, or yeah. So I was fine. Obviously, like there's some impact there. That it's still 26 miles, and maybe took 2 days to get completely fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Took it easy for a week. Went to the physio like 3 times in 5 days or something silly. Just trying to ease everything off.
At least you'll be carrying your own gels.
Yeah.
So nobody can steal your gels.
Yeah. Did you tell them about the shorts?
No. Oh my gosh. Go on.
Well. So we were packing yesterday. I say Chloe was packing yesterday, my bag, and realised that we couldn't find my marathon shorts, because obviously I've not used them since the last marathon, and we think we've left them in Rotterdam, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I do have another pair of shorts which could fit some gels in, but they had a rip in them because I like caught down a branch one time out running. So Chloe's sewn them together. I suppose you can probably.
Yeah, I'll insert my patching job.
But yeah, there's no. Obviously, I have a lot of running shorts, but none that can carry 6 gels. So, yeah, makeshift sewn up shorts for tomorrow.
Yeah. We are now about an hour away from the start of the race, so Ben is going to set off soon. I really hope today is going to be his day. I went on a run earlier today. It is a bit windy, but nothing compared to what it was in Rotterdam. I'm hoping I can see him 3 times, plus the start and the finish. 4, 3, 2, 1, go! The Hamburg Marathon app, if you want to track runners, you actually need to pay. It's not free. So I paid $1.99 to be able to track Ben today. This app better be working, unlike the Rotterdam one. So far it is. I had the 5k split for Ben, so he went to 5k in 16:28. Now I'm getting to the spot that is between kilometer 11 and 12, so I've got a bit of time before the runners come through this section, and then I'm going to start running around. That's when I have to take the tube and hope for the best. Okay, the tube experience here a lot less hectic than in Rotterdam. So there was a time gap between the elite start and then the rest of the runners. I think Ben managed to do what he wanted to do, so I was going to start a little faster to try and catch one of the pace groups. The latest time split I've got is 15k in 50:37. And now I'm around kilometer 22-23, so shouldn't be long until the runners come through. Okay, so Ben at 22.3k, he looks to have picked up the pace a bit because he went through halfway in 1:11.11, a bit faster than anticipated. I hope that's a good sign. And now I am running to try and catch him at kilometer 28. I don't know if I'm going to make it in time, but I'm going to try. Ben went through 30k in 1:41.20 something. Today could be his day. He could run a marathon PB today. So I am getting close-ish to the finish. I also need to think about which side of the road I should be on to meet with Ben at the finish. But I do have a bit of time to figure this out.
It is a Altitude von fast 30 Sekunden, 30.
Okay, so very shortly after I said, oh, it could be Ben's day, the 35 kilometer split came through and the pace had dropped off a cliff. So at this point, I'm freaking out. I'm like, what is going on? And then finally, Ben crossed the finish line. 2 hours, 27 minutes and 9 seconds, something like that. All right, we made it back to the accommodation after quite a long and painful walk back here.
Mm-hmm.
So Hamburg Marathon today, what happened? Started so well.
Yeah, not great in summary. I felt good until I didn't. I suppose is probably the best way to describe it. A few bits kind of happened. Part one was I thought the elites were going to set off 15 seconds before us. I counted on YouTube the time difference last year between the elite and the mass participation, just to because I knew there was pacers in the elite group. We ended up waiting 30 seconds before, so it was a bit of a task to bridge up to pacers. So yeah, 30 seconds. The plan was to run 72 with the 72:30 pacer until halfway. I bridged up to the back pacer. I asked the guys like, what pace you going for, like what you're pacing to, and all I heard was 26, and I thought that meant 2:26 as a time, which is obviously not 72:30 through half, but it turns out it was 3:26 pace, which is 72:30 through half. So that was the guy I was meant to go with. I bridged up to the next guy, who turns out he was pacing 71:45. Basically sat in the back of that for most of it. It was quite undulating to start off with, and I thought in my head, I was like, because I did look at the route profile beforehand, and in my head there's like this lump at the start, and then it kind of flattens, and then there's a bit of a climb to the finish, was like what I prepared myself for. But it just turned out to be undulating like the entire way. Which meant, well, I think in part meant that the pacing in the group was just a bit erratic. Like it was, if you look, I don't think there was one consistent split basically across the whole piece. And the pacer as well was, sprinting for the feed zones, which wasn't that helpful. Yeah, halfway 71 11, which is obviously too quick for what I was intending to do. But I felt good, I felt comfortable. And then, I don't know, around 30k, you kind of, the pacer accelerated again. I was like, I can't be doing this until the end. I felt good in myself, so I was kind of just eased off a bit. It was quite windy and hilly, so the way the course finished was it was headwind all the way back. I kind of prepared for that eventuality. So yeah, it was like headwind and an uphill. It was getting a bit difficult. So I ran 3 miles at like 5:40, flat basically. That was the plan I had in my head. Just kind of survive because I knew I was like a minute and a bit up where I wanted to be. And then just basically as I was going up the hills, my hips just started to feel tight, and then so I kind of tried to ease it off a bit, and then my hamstring just started like my left one started, like went twinges and it started to like cramp up. So so then it was just kind of let's get to the end. I lost a load of time in the last 3 miles. In myself, I probably could have ran quicker, but if I extended my leg, I was cramping. So it was just kind of like the maximum pace I could run in the circumstance. I made 2 mistakes like bridged up arguably too quickly. Then obviously just didn't go with the right pacer. Yeah, 227 low, a bit meh. I'm not that annoyed though. I think I was comfortable for a decent amount of it, and then just, yeah, tightness got the better of me. But there we are.
Here we are. You heard the Hamburg Marathon recap from Ben. Honestly, when I saw him at the finish, he seemed to be in a world of pain, and I was really, really concerned. And it took me ages to find him afterwards. And, you know, I had to sit down, get some Coke, get some crisps, and then we were able to do a slow walk back here. Yeah, I don't know how accurate that is, but I read that apparently Hamburg has double the elevation as the London Marathon course. So yes, Hamburg is not the flattest marathon you can find. And Ben has decided already that he doesn't want to run another marathon this year. He's just going to focus on the short stuff and then get back into a marathon block next year. This afternoon we are probably gonna take advantage of the pool and the sauna that are in the accommodation we're staying at. That's probably gonna do some good to his legs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to everyone who raced a marathon over the weekend, whether it was Hamburg, Manchester, London, Madrid. There were plenty of marathons this weekend, so congrats everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!